Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Ohio Guys here. I'm Christian Ocampo, and today I'm being joined by Adam Noble. How are you doing, sir?
Doing great. Thanks, Christian.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us for this interview.
My pleasure.
So, I believe this is your first ever interview, and we have some questions we'd like to ask you. First of all, what is it like working in the industry today?
Well, I am a bit of an outsider, at least it feels like to me. I've done a number of projects now, but because I'm not primarily a voice actor, I always feel a bit like a tourist. Um, but my experience of the industry has been that it's a great place to work right now. The few companies that I have had the privilege of coming in and doing voice acting with have all been really great people, really focused on the work itself and having a good time. It's been uh, relatively low stress as far as working project to project, and I always tend to have a good time. So for the outsider, it's been terrific. It's a great time to work in the industry.
Well, since your time as an outsider in this industry, what is your favorite show you have worked on?
Oh, wow. You know, I'm so horrible with favorites. Usually it's whatever show I'm currently on. Although in recent memory, I did have quite a laugh working on Himoto Umaru-chan with Emily Neves. That woman had me in stitches pretty much any time I was in the booth. Whether I was laying tracks ahead of her and wondering how she was going to respond, or whether I was coming in after her and hearing her track already and having the chance to try and respond and not bust up in the booth. That one was just sort of a pleasure to work on top to finish.
I love that show. Another show that you worked on that has got quite the fandom was the working on Haikyuu.
Oh yeah, volleyball. That was a great one. Again, I come in, sort of drop in from the moon from my other projects, and to get to go into the booth, and I was for that one I was later in process. Number six, my character. They had already done a lot of the lead tracks, and so to walk into the booth and hear all my friends' voices in my ears was it really gave it that team mentality. I felt like these are my boys. Like let's go take over the world. So it was quite easy to get that team feel for that show, which was great fun, and I think added to it a lot.
Excellent. Another show, since you really mentioned this one, was like working on Umaru-chan.
Hmm. Yeah. Seriously, I'm glad I wasn't trying to eat or drink, in the booth, because there would have been stuff coming out my nose pretty much every session. Emily Neves' take on that character was hysterical, and to have, Kyle and Ricardo and the team at Sentai Asir Media, um, just tweaking it. Like, how silly can we be here? Yeah, he's test driving a car, but let's see how nuts we can go. And just finding ways to dig fun out of seeming innocuous moments. That was just a real joy for me to play with. And like I said, I know Emily in the real world. And so, that is not her voice. That is definitely one of her takes on this character. And to have someone that really delivering such a delicious character like that, it was always a treat to go into the booth.
It's also one of fun favorites and the funniest ones I've seen.
Potato chips.
And cola.
That's right.
Can't wait for season 2. I'm really hoping it gets dubbed very soon.
Me too.
So, all right, now let's jump to the other big question, the high dive question. What was it like being the part of the first dub cast for Devil's Line?
Uh, Again, as the outsider, I sort of miss things. I there have been a number of projects so far where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm doing a little voice thing. It's great. And people come up to me or find me on social media and are like, you did what? You did what? You worked with who? And I tend to be like, I didn't know. And this was another one of those. I've gotten a lot of feedback from folks on the street, and I was like, I came in, I did a little project. It was fine. It was fun. But I guess I'm just sort of an idiot that way. One of my other jobs, I work in theater and opera and film and television. And one of the ones that I fell into backwards was opera. I ended up at a teaching position that I had before, teaching at the Jacobs School of Music for their opera singers. And I'm in Indiana. There's a music school. They're like, hey, you should come and teach movement for our opera singers. They might really need it. So I do, and apparently the Jacobs School of Music is a big deal. Who knew? No, I mean, obviously people knew. I'm the idiot. But when I did make the move and came to Houston, Houston Grand Opera reached out, like, hey, we hear you taught at Jacobs School. You should come here. And again, I just feel like the idiot going, oh, sure, okay, I'll come and play with anybody. Like, let's go play. No problem. That, I guess, I'm just an idiot savant. I don't know. But that was Devil's Line for me. I really had no idea it had the following that it had or was so great a series until after my work on it had already been done. And then it was sort of finding out in other places. Oh, you guys are serious about this one. Okay, great.
So I enjoy that show.
Yeah.
Glad you're part of it. All right. Another show that's a bit older, past 2 years now, I believe, was working on Monty Gross no Zaki-kun.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah, that was bizarrely meta for me. I teach at a university as one of my sort of day jobs. And so I see sort of, not high school, but I see that sort of young, fresh out of high school, undergraduate theater major as part of the BFA that I currently head up. And so that was a trip to sort of work on a show based in that world, and not have to be the teacher, get to be one of the students mucking about. I don't know, there was something therapeutic about that for me, and great fun. That character is a little feckless and has his problems, but yeah, it was just a very interesting process for me, seeing that whole thing from a different angle.
All right, and then another show that just recently came out was working on Scum's Wish.
Ah, yes. That one was a bit of a trip. A lot of times, because of non-disclosure and things, I don't have a lot of access to scripts or characters before I get in the booth and we start to play. And not knowing sort of episode by episode where this love story is going, that was a trip. That show definitely took me in a couple of directions I was not expecting. Like, oh yeah, I'm this sweet teacher who just wait. I did what? I said what? I said I was okay with what? There was a lot of that for that show, but I suppose that means that the writing is good. That it was able to surprise me even after a number of years of doing this and sort of following character arcs and. Yeah, it was good fun. It was definitely a bit off to the side compared to some of the other things I've done, but it was great fun.
Oh, definitely. All right, now it's time for our fun little question we'd like to ask. If you could be any character you have played in real life, who will you be? And you can mix and match.
Right. Well, I've got a project coming out that I'm not allowed to talk about, and he's really cool. So I'd probably be him, but barring that, of the ones you've mentioned, there were. There's something lovely about being a villain, so I'm drawn to those characters. But I guess, Taihei in Umaru-chan, much as I love that process, he's a bit of a dolt. I don't know that I'd want to live there. He's a bit of a doormat. So I think I'd probably go to Enoshita in Haikyuu, and just be able to hang out with the guys and have some fun, play some volleyball and tear it up. Devil's Line, a little dark, monthly girls, don't want to live there. Yeah. Since I can't talk about the character coming up, I'm going to go with Enoshita in Haikyuu.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Is there anything else coming out that you can talk about, or anything you want to plug in at this time besides Scum
Nothing I can talk about. Curse their oily hides. No, but there are some projects in the hopper and some good fun coming up. And as we've already mentioned, I'm really hopeful that we'll have a second season of Maru-chan and maybe a couple of things coming back. So who knows what the future might bring.
Right. All right, and then last question. Is there any social media for fans to get hold of you? Any Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, anything of that sort?
I'm out there. God, I don't even know what my Facebook thing is anymore. I think I'm Noble Prof, but I think I'm under Adam Noble. Twitter, I'm at A Noble Thought. But I'm not on social media much. So don't be disappointed in me if I don't post a lot. I really am in a stage of my life. I'm old, and I'm spending a lot more time doing these days than posting, which I think is good. But I am looking forward, maybe in 5 or 10 years, to slowing down a little bit and spending a little more time goofing around online. Maybe actually getting my website up. I've had a domain name for 14 years. I still haven't built the site because I've just been doing. But yes, that's where you can find me. Adam Noble on Facebook and A Noble Thought on Twitter. I have an Instagram account, but I think I've used it twice since I opened it, so I can't even remember. Sorry. I'm old. What do you want from me? But I hope you're out there listening to projects in the future, even if we're not connected on social media.
All right. Well, thank you, sir, for joining us for this interview. We, the Ohio guys, really appreciate it.
I appreciate your time, Christian. It's always nice to talk to you.
Yep. Thank you very much. And thank you for our viewers for tuning in for this episode of the Ohio guys. Thank you all. We'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.